What's up, y'all? Uncommon NASA back here once again with another Keep or Sell episode. I'm going to go through a bunch of records. Basically, the concept of this entire series, whatever you want to call it, there's no more room. So I can't buy more records unless I sell old records. So for this, I'm going through my record collection one by one, deciding to keep or sell whatever record it might be. I've got 10 records selected. We're going to go through it. If you like what you see, once you get through this video, give a like, give a subscribe, and at the end of this video, there'll be a playlist. Check out other videos just like this. All right, let's get into it. All right, so here we are, Only Shot Audio once again. Got that stack of 10 records. We're going to start with a record that I have a good feeling about, because I think I've worked with this record before. Norman Connors. This album is called Dark of Light. And Norman Connors was a really amazing jazz drummer who, had incredible lineups. But yeah, you could see the people that he's working with. Herbie Hancock, Cecil McBee, Stanley Clarke, before they put an E at the end of his name. Eddie Henderson, Carlos Garnett, Gary Bartz, Buster Williams. Herbie Hancock, Stanley Clarke in the same band with Norman Connors. Pretty special. There's a cool back cover piece there of him doing his thing. Pretty sweet. This is a pretty terrific record. He has a song here called The Twilight Zone, so I'm already sold. But I'm trying to figure out who the female singer is on this. Dee Bridgewater. So, pretty stuff that her name isn't on the front. T.D. Bridgewater is an amazing, well-known jazz vocalist as well. Maybe she wasn't that well-known then, or maybe that's just 70s record label sexism, but her picture is on the inside there in the top middle. So she is represented, but I kind of underlined that because in listening, obviously we're needle dropping here, but like in listening through this record and skimming through it, you can tell that she's a huge part of the overall sound that they were going for. In terms of like creating something that's kind of haunting. It's a really dope record. It's a keep, of course. That's an easy one. L.T.D, Something to Love. This looks very much like a disco or perhaps a funk record. I've seen this one floating around in here, but I don't remember what it sounds like. Well, we know where that. So another episode of Keep It Sell and another sample snitch on myself. So I'm gonna leave it there. I'm not gonna keep needle dropping my sample, but I'm not gonna reveal what it is. But it's definitely a special meaning these days. And man, that was cool. That's good memories. That brings a lot back. Man, this is a tough call so far. No, it's not a tough call. It's because I don't really listen to music like this. I could see like streaming music like this because I do like old funk and soul and disco. But keeping a record, like a physical record, I'm probably not going to like put this on the turntable very often to listen to. But at the same time, as I said in a bunch of these, can I reproduce the sounds, not the music, the sounds that come from a record like this? And I can't. So this is a keep. It's a really well-made record. One thing that struck me while I was listening to it is just the scope of, like, especially the first song that I dropped there, like with the strings and everything. The scope of recording and the style of recording engineer that had to be around to do that. The studio, it's crazy. You know, like even a great jazz record like that, Norman Connor's, I can kind of visualize everything, like how it was recorded and how the instruments were set up in a live room. Like for that L.T.D, that's actually like, I'd actually like to see how they recorded it, because I could imagine it, but I don't know. Like I've never been in a session like that. All right, so this is a pretty popular one with diggers. I don't remember how I got this, but this is Mother Earth's Plantasia. I assume maybe some samples came off of this, because it is a record that you see. A lot of these are marked Joe $2, and I'm pretty sure I got a bunch of those Joe $2 records from a random like thrift store in Florida when I was there for work, like probably like 10 years ago and 4 jobs ago. But see what Plantasia has to offer. Oh, that's nice. This sounds familiar, like I've listened to this record before, but I don't remember sampling that. And it doesn't strike me as something I've heard before, like in terms of hip hop, like somebody else fucking with it. This is an awesome ass record. I didn't expect this, actually. You know, sometimes I have another record. Maybe I'll put up just an image of it, but right there or so. Music to grow your plants, or like some shit like that. There it is there. I own that. It's in here somewhere, unless I sold it. But I think I have it still, because that record goes back to my early days of my vinyl. And it's not that good, but it's kind of funny. This record, you know, I mean, it says warm earth music for plants and the people who love them. So it's the same theory. I guess there was a thing that went around in the 70s, or maybe the 80s, 76, but into the 70s and 80s, where you could help grow plants by putting on records. Man, it's a sneaky way to sell some records. But this is actually good. So, yeah. Another keep. Wow, 3 for 3. Not making any progress today in getting anything. I'm hearing some good music. This is Jon Vangelis. Another Joe $2 record. Boy, Joe was killing it with the $2 records. Oh, that's right. This is John Anderson on here with Vangelis. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a keep. I mean, it's John Anderson from Yes with Vangelis. I didn't realize that was the John. This is a record from a band called the Rascals. This is called Once Upon a Dream. Some of these records, I think, came from my folks, actually. They had a small record collection. They aren't huge vinyl heads or anything, but they had some records from when they were kids, and I'm pretty sure this Rascals record was my mom's record. So now we have the extra weighted pressure of, like, is the music good? Can I use it? And can I get past the sentimental value of having some of my folks' records in the crib? You can tell what the Rascals were going for here. I don't really have to say that they look like the Beatles. Ooh, that's dusty. I know what he was trying to make people think there, but maybe I'm just the bad one. I don't know. Sure. The way that you got sexuality into music back then, I guess. Yeah! I was feeling
gonna do to my heart? And you're not gonna out of thing. Just come on, Mustang Sally.
I'm kind of fascinated by this record because it's a keep. That's where we 5 for 5 now. There's a lot more of the rawness of the band in this time period. There's other record that I could think of that's like this, that has a famous cover that I will put right there, is Gun. It's a really cool cover, pretty cool music, but you really can't do anything with it. Even as a fan listening to it, because it just sounds so dense and echoey and weird. And this has that sound to it. I do kind of like some of what's on here. I couldn't tell you whether I would like this if I didn't know that, like, you know, my mother at 21 was bumping this record. I think that's kind of cool, especially considering how, like, you know, Wild Boy the lyrics are, you know, like Mustang Sally and all this other type of stuff. A record with no cover. This is Airto's Fingers. Airto, of course, Latin jazz, and Latin music percussionist. Airto Moreira.
Some días.
I mean, I doubt you could hear it unless you have headphones on watching this, but I actually turned up the bass. I wish this was mixed with a little bit more bass. This is a tough one. I love Airto. I love a lot of the music that he was on. And I like what I hear on this, but I don't know how much I'm going to listen to it all the time. It's one of those weird ones because I don't have the cover, so it's like I really can't get much for it. But I will maybe just pass this on to someone that'll appreciate it more. It kind of hurts me to say because I really do like Airto. But A, I've already kept a stack of records, and B, there are people, and this is in good shape too. So I'm hoping that maybe somebody will get this and really appreciate it. So I am going to sell. All right, we're going to sell Airto. So this is another record that came from my folks, but this one I know a lot less about. It's called the Essex. Easier said than done. It's got black masking tape on it, which was classic dad move. I think he did that. Why you would use black masking tape to keep a record together, I guess that just goes into like the way that people thought of records. It was such a utilitarian thing that it was like it didn't matter whether it looked like shit or not. So cool label there too, just to show that off. But I don't know what this is. Knowing my dad, this is probably some sort of oldies or doo-wop, but I don't really know.
My friends all tell me.
So, yeah, am I giving records like this more consideration because they were from my folks? Yes. I mean, obviously. It's interesting again. I mean, it's kind of a theme in this one. This whole thing is built around a female singer. And maybe, well, there wasn't an inner sleep back in the late 50s or early 60s probably, but unless I'm going to sit here and read this entire thing, there's a lot of text on the back of here that I'm not really trying to read. I don't know who that person is or was, but yeah, I mean, the Essex, I hate to donate it because I feel like this record will end up in the trash because of the way it looks and what's on it. So I don't want it to go in the trash because it was one of my dad's records. So man, this is really on the fence because I don't really know where I would even keep a record like this. So I'm gonna put this down as a sell. Man, what an awkward episode of Keep or Sell. Everything that I'm selling, I'm like in pain about selling, and everything I'm keeping, I'm like in pain about keeping. But I'm going to put this down as a sell with an asterisk because I will find some way that it doesn't get into a trash heap. But I'm not going to keep it because if I keep it, it's just going to sit there and be a thing. So we'll put this down in the sell section. Another record that surely came from my folks. I don't know why they didn't keep this. I might just give this back to them. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll just give him back that record. How about that? That's going to be the sell. So my folks' song for when they got married was the love theme from The Godfather. So I may not look it, but I am quite Italian. And that's why this record is here, I'm sure. It also has other themes on it, which is pretty cool. Which one is this? This is Shaft. Got some cool stuff on it though. I actually like this record a lot to hold on to. Scores are amazing, and there's a lot of little things there that I could flip without it being obvious that I was taking from major motion pitches. All right, so we got 2 records left. I have Ramadan. This record is another record that's everywhere. People have been digging with this forever. If you look at the second gentleman's face there, that is, the first gentleman's face, actually. The second photo, that's Mitch Mitchell. Mitch Mitchell was the drummer in Jimi Hendrix Experience. Very aggressive record. So, this is a cool record. You know, don't get it twisted. I've just had it for a long time, and I know I've probably got into this record a few times and listed a few things here and there over the last 20 years. I've had this for a long time. So this is another one of those records where, I will say this is not a rhythm roulette. I don't have to make something off of this. If I had to, I definitely could because it's a great record. But do I need this in my house right at this moment? Probably not. So I am going to sell Ramadan. It's a good record. It's not, again, most of the stuff I'm selling is not worth a lot of money. So when I say sell, maybe we're going to donate, maybe we're going to hand off. If anybody wants it, you know. Now we come to the last record of the show. It is P.F.M's The Award-Winning Marconi Bakery. So P.F.M. was a psychedelic band, from what I remember. I'm not super familiar with them. I actually got this record and a couple other P.F.M. records in Baltimore. Shout out to DJ Addict, because the record shop that he brought me to on one of the many shows I've done in Baltimore, that's where I got them. Okay, we like that. This drummer is fucking crazy. His little rolls are sick. Franz D. Chochio. Those are percussives. Doesn't even say drums, but he's obviously playing a kid. Really cool record. This, it's kind of weird. The back has a bowl of spaghetti. I guess these guys are Italian, not because of the spaghetti, but because Giorgio Piazza, Franco Musita, Flavio Promoli, Franz de Chocho, I don't know if I'm saying that right, and Mauro Pagani are the band. A good keeper. I can't believe I only got this for $7. This is a good record. This show, we have landed 7 keeps and 3 sells. Started off really well with Norman Connor's classic early jazz fusion sort of record, but that one's pretty heavy jazz. L.T.D, some really good sounds, good disco record. We'll keep that. Really classic. I don't know, I can't say it's classic, but like one of the staple kind of songs that I produce is on there. Plantasia, really surprised. This is really dope. I don't know why I was sleeping on that. Jon Vangelis, you know, if you're a prog head like me, you can't part with that. It's John Anderson's 2 worlds coming together. And got a couple records from my folks here. The Rascals, I can't part with that. Theme from The Godfather, it's actually got some good stuff on it. And what we just heard, P.F.M. And then what are we selling? Records that no one's gonna buy. We've got Ramatan, which is available anywhere. You can walk into any used record store and find this record. We've got this Essex record that I'm probably just gonna give back to my dad so it doesn't end up in the trash. And we've got a cool Airto record with no cover. So we're clearing space, slowly but surely. Let me know what you would do with one of these records. Is there anything that I'm keeping that you think is garbage or, you know, or isn't good? Is there anything I'm selling that you want that you would keep yourself? In any of the videos, check out the playlist that's going to come up toward the end of this video. It's got all of these different kinds of like Vinyl Dig record videos. And give a like and a subscribe. I'll be back in a week or so with another one of these. Peace.